What's going on, Wolves? We're back. Yes, and I am so excited. If you do not know who I am, my name is Lotus Loba, and I am your hostess with the mostest here at LobaLand, the wellness experience. Okay, we had to change the name, we had to shift the focus. I mean, let's really talk about it. For the past 5 years, I have been doing this podcast, giving you guys like gems, just giving you guys insights, giving you access to leaders who look like you, who have had experiences similar to yours, because I really want to make sure that wellness is experienced in the Black community, especially for Black women, Black bodies. So it's so important for me to really acknowledge that. Just acknowledge that this is like year 5, even though we're on like season 6. And I've produced so much, and we're gonna really talk about why that is. Like, girl, walk me through why you needed to produce 100 episodes in 5 years. And of course, you can still watch and listen to all those episodes if you need to, because there are tons of insights to help you with your creative, spiritual, and, your mental wellness. It's so important that we as Black bodies understand how that's all really intertwined, right? And when we are able to get the support that we need to show up as our fullest selves, good things really do happen, right? So actually, let's cheers, because I have my matcha in hand. Hopefully you have your morning drink too, boo. That's why I did the visual, so we could do this together. Let's cheer, all right? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, cheers. Nice little celebratory drink to start us off. Yes, okay. What am I sipping on? Because I know you guys always ask. I get that question. I feel like out of the entire existence of my podcast, that's probably the question that I get the most, of like, where are you getting your matcha from? What are you sipping on daily? I want to get into it, but I've tried it on my own and it's not giving what you say it's supposed to give. And that's because, your girl, she has her little bartender's license or whatever. I'm a little mixologist out in these streets. And when I stopped drinking alcohol like 5 years ago, I really started tending to like the teas and the natural elixirs that I would create for myself. So I'm really good with recipes. So I'm going to continue to share my recipes with you. If you caught any of the Matcha Mornings Divine Rewind lives on Instagram, I've given tons of recipes over the past like 6 or 7 months when we've been going live. But this is a classic. So this is the ceremonial matcha from Matchaful, it's the Kiwami blend. And then I have black seed oil, lion's mane, cinnamon, cashew milk, and filtered water. And I blend it together. There's a little bit of CBD in here too. I have full spectrum CBD from Open Apothecary. I live for OA. Those are my babies. Love me some Hana. And I have that together because I was like, I want to drink something for the first episode that's going to keep me centered, keep me calm. Going visual is a very new experience for me podcast-wise. I teach my classes like this all the time, but I really wanted to make sure that I felt calm, I felt good. I missed podcasting so much. So I was like, let me give me something that's going to keep me centered, keep me focused. And of course, the matcha does that, but it also detoxifies the body, which is why I love drinking this like first thing in the morning after a cup of water. I usually do like lime water or chia seed water. Then I'll have this because it detoxifies the body, gets rid of all like the icky stuff, allows my body to decrease like the swelling, a lot of anti-inflammatory properties in this, as well as the black seed oil. That's why I love sipping on black seed oil. And then of course the lion's mane helps with the brain function and the focus and the clarity. And I feel like that just amplifies what matcha does, because matcha does all of those things on its own. Like, you really could just get matcha and some water and brew it and you would be set to go. I just like to give an experience with my drinks. So do whatever feels best for you. Okay. So that's what I'm sipping on. All right. And of course, let me know what you're sipping on. I want to know, like, tell me what you guys have been doing. I've been seeing like all these really cool matcha recipes and things like that. Tag your wolf, please. I want to join in on the matcha fun. I think it's so cool. We get to like share recipes together. Cooking is a passion of mine. So please, by all means, if you are making something with matcha, tag me. I want to celebrate you. I want to try it out. Like, I want to see if we can compare recipes and do something really cute together. Reach out, okay? So let me know. You can tag me on Instagram at Lotus.Loba. Tag me in your matcha treat or drink so that I can repost it and I can like make it myself, because that's really why I'm asking. Okay. So it's been a minute. I think my last episode, like real episode, right? Because I did a mini-sode last week. But my last full episode, I feel like it was with Laura OG of Smoke Break. And that had to be in August of some time last year. And we are currently in May of 2022 in real time. So it's been a while. It's been a while. And, you know, it wasn't the intention, but it was the intention. Because I really reflected on the fact that I really produced over 100 episodes of this podcast. And when I really sat down at first, you know, everybody's like, oh, that's so impressive. That's so many, you know, that's so much. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, it is a lot. But why? Why did I need to produce so much? In such a short amount of time, right? That's almost average like 20 episodes a year, which is a lot in the podcast. It's a lot in general, right? To do by yourself. I'm self-producing this podcast as well. Like that's a lot, you know? And on top of that, you're getting a mix, right? The LobaLand wellness experience, you know, is an experience. You're getting guided meditations, you're getting interviews with experts in their fields, you're getting firsthand experiences, you're getting client stories, tools, techniques. I'm really giving so much in each episode. I had to really ask myself, am I overwhelming my audience? And I know many of y'all gonna be like, girl, no, we love the consistent content. Like it gives. We love sharing our mornings with you, you know, our intimate times together. I love that you turn me on like your TV so you can hear the podcast from there. Like all these amazing things. They just make me so happy. But I really wanted to reflect and be like, okay, did you really need to produce that much? And you guys know that I'm an emotional projector, 4'6", what's up? And, you know, I'm into human design, you know, I'm a human design coach. So when I really started leaning into my human design, and we'll talk more about that. I actually have a really cool episode with Charlie about that, because she's also a human design coach. Shout out to Black women human design coaches. I was just sitting there and I'm like, this is hard to sustain. And I really want to make sure that I can sustain the gifts, you know, the insights, the services that I'm giving to you. And it's not the only way that I service my community, right? Like the podcast is literally a part of an energetic ecosystem that I provide. So not only am I doing the podcast, I have social media content that literally, if you scroll through my Instagram, you would really find relief. I am very thoughtful about my posts. I really make sure I give you guys resources and content that's going to help you in your wellness journey. I have ebooks, master classes. I have both of my memberships, the Sweet Life membership for emotional and energetic healing for Black women. And then I have the MysticCODE, which is like my mystery school. Shout out my Mystic Wolves. Love y'all so much. I have my one-on-one clients. I have my corporate wellness clients, you know, and then I'm always studying. So there's like a lot of shit that I do to make sure that I have enough resources to give you all. But I'm realizing that I don't give you guys enough time to process what I'm giving, right? So for this season, we're changing it up. And if you haven't gotten the email yet, make sure you join the email list. It's all the links that you'll need. Anything that I talk about in this episode, it'll be in the show notes. So make sure you go and show the show notes some love, because there's tons of goodies in there for you always. So, you know, I really wanted to structure this season around rest, around relaxation, time to process. So the show structure is vastly different. So instead of you getting like 2 new episodes every single week for 3 weeks straight and then a week off, which I was really proud of myself for still building in that week of rest, but that was still so much that I was producing prior to. By the time I got to the week of rest, it really wasn't a week of rest because I had to prep for the next month. So now what we're doing is we have our monthly Matcha Mornings episode, which is this. So every month you'll get an episode like this where you'll see me, we'll sip, we'll talk matcha, we'll dive into the topic of the season, which I'll discuss in a few, and then you'll get a cosmic conversation bi-weekly, right? So like in another week or so, you'll get another episode. And then in between that, I'll have a live mid-month. And the live is really for us to kind of get together, because I'm hoping that y'all seeing me, being able to have this experience with me, you'll be like, oh, I want to really experience her in real time. So you'll come through for the lives and we'll talk about this episode in real time. I think it's fun. I want to really focus on building community, right? Besides rest, my two main focuses were like rest, relaxation, and then like building community, being really intimate with y'all, because you guys are the reason why I even do this, right? The listeners are the reason why I even have a podcast. Otherwise, other than to document my life, but that's a whole different story. So I want to be able to talk with you, get your questions in real time, answer them. If there's anything that came up that really resonated with you, I just want to have that experience with you. So we'll do that mid-month. So technically you're getting kind of like 3 episodes a month, but they're for different purposes. And it gives you enough time in between each kind of experience with me to process what's happening, to check in with yourself and see how you feel about what you're receiving, see how your body is experiencing the insights, the wisdom, the techniques and the tools and things like that. So I'm really excited about this setup for the season, and I feel like it's going to be good for all of us. So let's just put that out there, put out the good juju, okay? And then let's talk about what we'll be doing for this season in particular. So I was just like, there's so many ways I can go about this. There's so many things I could talk about, right? But I really wanted to make sure that I was being truthful and honest to what I felt like the community needed. And when I'm talking to my girls, my sisters, a lot of us are practitioners. A lot of us hold space for Black women. And we're just kind of like, okay, it's about to get a little controversial. Let me take another sip. Okay, so a lot of us are just like, okay, do people even know what an energy practitioner is? Do you even know what a wellness practitioner is? And I say this because this is a fairly new experience, right? You're used to the life coaches, you're used to the motivational speakers, right? You have like the OGs in the game, like Queen Afua, right? Who has like really been doing this for probably like longer than I've been alive, to be honest with you. So you have them, but they were never as accessible as they are now, right? There was never this influx of us. There's so many wellness influencers, wellness enthusiasts, wellness practitioners that you can get information and insights from, that you can work with. But do you even understand why? Do you know what we do? Do you know like what it is, what our life is about? Because something that I find very interesting is that sometimes I feel like what I do as a professional is undervalued, right? And we're going to really talk about that. We're going to really get into it this season, baby. The topics are giving what they need to give. I'm talking about like paying practitioners what they deserve, because I can't wait to get into that episode, because that's really frustrating, because it's still our livelihood. This is still my profession. I'm still an educator. I'm still teaching, and I deserve for what I'm teaching to be able to provide me a life that feels good to have. Like, I did a lot of work to be able to give y'all the information that I'm giving you so effortlessly. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about all things practitioner. So if you're a practitioner, this season is definitely for you. This is my love letter to you. I'm looking out, okay? I'm looking out. And if you're not a practitioner, if you're thinking about becoming one, if you find that you have, some mystical abilities that you want to lean into and have it provide nourishment, livelihood for you, this will be a really great season for you to study, for you to get your questions answered without having to pay for a consultation, because you should. Picking a practitioner's brain is it's almost an act of violence, and y'all gonna be like, not an act of violence. It really is, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. Maybe we'll talk about it in this episode. If not, we'll definitely talk about it in the pay me episode, because okay. Like I wanted to talk about what it is to be a practitioner, what the experience is, in hopes that practitioners can feel seen. They can use these episodes as reference points, because it's annoying to repeat yourself over and over and over again. It's nice just to be able to be like, yo, tune into this episode. It'll explain more of what I do, why I do what I do, how I do what I do, why my rates are the way that they are, things like that. So you can really focus in on your craft and study and getting better at it. And then I also did this for my wolves, for the clients out there, so you can get to better understand me, what I do, and like any potential practitioners that you're interested in investing with, right? Because it is an investment. It is you giving a monetary exchange, or you should be, with your practitioner, right? I want to make sure that you're picking out the right one, that you're not getting scammed out here, because we definitely will have our little scammer episode too, because some of y'all say y'all are practitioners, but it's not giving me practice. It's not giving me practice. It's not giving me I live my truth. It's not giving me I walk my talk. And I'm going to talk about that too, because I've seen so many people get hurt by trusting in, these practitioners and getting scammed out of products, getting scammed out of experiences, being told like really awful things that they have to do in order to like live their best life. And I want to be able to give you a blueprint that you can use. So when you are looking for a practitioner, if it's not with me, if it's not one of my recommendations, though my recommendations are really, really vetted, and I do not play around with my recommendations at all, because my word is really my bond. I'm very transparent and honest with my community. Like, I want to give you the best of the best, because that's what I feel like you deserve. But if you don't use one of my references, that's fine. I just want to be able to make sure that by the end of the season, you know what type of practitioner you want to work with, be it a life coach, be it an energy practitioner, an embodiment coach. There's so many different labels and names for your next season in your life, and that you can feel confident in picking them and work with them and trusting your intuition, so that you can get the support that you need to be your best and fullest self. I think that that's so important, right? So that's what we'll be talking about this season. Today's episode is like, what is an energy practitioner anyway? And like 5 ways we help you get your shit together, because I really feel undervalued sometimes. I'm really putting this out there. Like, who am I? This is a whole new Lotus. I hope we're getting into this. Sometimes I feel like, because the shifts that we cultivate, the space that we hold for you to have these transformational moments, they can feel so subtle, which means that we're doing our job, right? If you're working with a practitioner and you can feel life like on some Mr. Crab from SpongeBob, you're just like, oh shit, I feel this like this. I'm not going to say you may not be with the best practitioner, but you may not be with the best practitioner. Like, we're supposed to help you make those experiences more easier to navigate. I know when clients work with me, we're doing quantum leaps in your energy. We're collapsing your time frame to get you to your desired outcome with ease. And it feels so subtle that you may not even realize how much you've done in a session, which is why I'm always an advocate for documentation, because I get to bring it back and kind of show numbers and stats and show you like how much you've been able to grow, how much you've been able to navigate it and work through, so that you can be as happy and light as you feel. But because they're so subtle, sometimes I feel like you guys don't even realize all that's happening. And then that becomes very difficult when we're pricing and things like that. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, like you don't really understand what it is that I'm providing you. And that's a two-way street, right? I need to be clear on that, which this is why this season exists. And it's also important for you as a client or as a member of the community, whether it's mine or any practitioner you may know and love. It's really important for you to take the time out to witness, like, since you've been taking in their content, since you've been communicating with them, sharing in their energy, like, you could watch this episode years later, you're still in contact with my energy. Energy never dies. It just shifts, right? So you're still working with my energy that it's taken me like 15 years to cultivate, to be able to give you this experience. So it's really important that you understand what it is an energy practitioner does and the value that we bring, because I feel like we bring immense value. I've seen my clients, my one-on-one and my members, like I've just seen what they've done in a month of working with me, let alone, a full season to a year. They have left jobs, they have left relationships, and they haven't been destroyed by them either, right? They weren't sitting in dark nights of the soul every 2 seconds. They were really able to process and witness and see like, oh shit, like this is what I need to navigate through this. And I actually know how to, and I feel comfortable and empowered to do that. And I'm not saying it only comes from working with me, but I do think I can help facilitate. That's my whole purpose of being here, is to hold that space for you to realize your power, for you to step into that truth, right? So let's get into like what an energy practitioner really, really is. All right. So it's not an easy question to answer, but we are so many things for so many people. And I really feel like I did my best with this answer. I'm like, your girl's like really, really proud of herself, okay? So an energy practitioner is a guide that holds space for moments of transition and discomfort, reminding you of your ability to navigate and thrive no matter what you are experiencing. We really help you get to your end destination faster and less bruised, right? Like granted, you can do this on your own. You can do life on your own. You don't necessarily need a practitioner, need a life coach. But why struggle through life when you can have someone that's either got to where you wanted to be, right? Either in the way of maintaining their energy or the lifestyle that they live or the mindset that they have, they've gotten the results that you want. And they have like a cheat code where you don't have to like have blood, sweat, and tear experiences to live your best life. I always find that when we glorify hard work, it's just really dangerous and it's really unsettling and it's very detrimental to the work that I do, because if I'm really over here praising that this work can be easy and it can feel good, but you are so hell-bent on having to struggle for your success, we're never really going to see eye to eye. You're never really going to see my value. And if I don't feel valued as a practitioner, as a projector in particular, I am not, it just doesn't feel good, right? So it's really important for you to understand, like, that's what we do. We collapse your time frame in your healing so that you're not spending 5-10 years on one topic. You're not sitting in therapy for X amount of years really trying to find the root of a problem when there are more efficient ways to get past that. And this is not a dig at talk therapy at all. Talk therapy are for particular people, but it's not for everyone. You know, I've done talk therapy. Shout out Dr. J, because that's my baby boo. Love her. Shout out Soul Care Collective, because they have incredible Black therapists that are super affordable. This is not sponsored. I really do love what Omi's doing, and she really does provide like just quality therapist. And if you're looking for something that's really affordable and you really want to have your, you know, get your therapy on, please check them out. I'll leave the link below as well. You know, talk therapy was really helpful for me, and it also depends on your therapist and things like that. I was lucky to have such a bomb therapist, but prior to her, my therapist was shitty. Like, we were always discussing the same exact thing, and what I found myself doing was like ruminating. I kept re-triggering the same trauma, and nothing was happening. I wasn't receiving any type of progression. I just kept going back to the same moment over and over again, hoping for a different response. And it wasn't until I started practicing energy work, right, that I was able to start seeing the shifts that I needed and realizing like, oh, I don't really have to relive this trauma over and over again for me to have healing. I can just have the healing. It's really like those aha moments when you realize like all the rules are fake. You just do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, that was that aha moment for me where I was like, this may not be for me. It may be for you. Talk therapy might be really great because you get a chance to finally be heard. You get a chance to finally verbalize your story and hear your story and have it replayed back to you by someone who's trained to do that. So that's amazing when you find that right therapist. But, you know, for many Black people, it's really hard to find a therapist that understands our unique experience in wellness. And I feel like energy practitioners are really amazing for Black bodies. I think we really do help to minimize the impact that your trauma has on your life and maximize the inspiration that you can get from it, because trauma can be transformational. And I know that might sound like a little taboo, but that's been my experience. It's been my experience for my clients, and I've been able to confidently say I've worked with over 100 women and bodies, and I really feel like that number might be low, but I'm going to start off there because I've seen the one-on-one. I've just seen life transform due to trauma. Sometimes that is our trigger, and it helps us to get through that. So that's what an energy practitioner is. It's so important for you to remember that. My story on why I became an energy practitioner is, I'm just going to give you guys two parts, because there's two major reasons, nothing too crazy, but something really powerful and beautiful. So, you know, I've always felt that within me, I have the ability to heal myself, right? I am not one of those practitioners or healers that's like, I can heal you. I can't. Full disclosure, that's not what I'm here to do. I can hold space for you and I can give you tools and techniques for you to do it for yourself, but that's not a lifestyle that I live or that I subscribe to. I really believe that everything that I need is within me. And if I believe that for myself, I have to believe that for my community and my clients that I serve. Otherwise, it's giving me hypocrite. And that is something that I am not, right? So when I was getting, all these diagnoses, from like the mental illness diagnosis to the physical illnesses that I was diagnosed with, it could feel very disempowering to like leave your life up to someone else, like to leave my life up to my rheumatologist, to my therapist, to my, psychiatrist. And I don't know these people. They don't know my full experience. They don't even know what I'm capable of, and I just didn't feel the support that I needed to feel. And that's just because, me and Western medicine, we're figuring out our shit. But when I really understood that I could do this for myself, that I could provide this healing for myself, this container for myself, and that really no one else was going to save me, that I would need to do it for me if I wanted to get out of the slumps that I was in, to better manage what I was experiencing in my body and in my mind and in my spirit. It had to be me, right? So that was like one major reason, like that. I just knew it. It was a divine knowing within. Then it was also like navigating my own dark night of the soul by myself was exhausting and traumatic. I was just like, oh no, this is not it. This is not giving, okay? This is not giving at all. This is one of the main reasons why I share so much of my life and my story, because, when I was first starting off in my journey, I was like 16, 17, and then like shit really got crazy around like 19, 20. And then my 20s was just, I was here for the ride. I wanted to document my journey and share as much of it as I could, because I felt how lonely and painful it was to go through so much of that by myself, or to not know what communities I can confide in, because again, being a Black woman, the Black wellness experience for us is so particular. It's so unique. And we didn't have all these beautiful communities like we have currently, right? Like we didn't have Sadie Baddies. We didn't have, Sad Girls Club. We didn't have MysticCODE and The Sweet Life. We didn't have these spaces, House of Soul. Like we didn't have these spaces. They didn't exist 10 years ago, right? And I'm so grateful that they do now. But that shit is hard. It's hard to go through transition on your own. And that's one of the main reasons why I became a practitioner, so that I could hold your hand with the process, so that you can call me or voice note me or shoot me a text in moments where you feel overwhelmed by what life is providing you, that you knew you had someone like your healing homegirl, you know what I'm saying? Like you can hit me up and you can check out my social media or whatever the case is, or the podcast, and, really feel seen and held. Like that shit was really important to me. I really wanted to provide that for y'all. It's in my design too, as when you start to learn human design, it's just very apparent in my chart that that's what I'm here to do. And I never want anyone to go through what I went through. It was so lonely at one point. And then when that light switch shifted and I realized that I was actually never alone, magic. And like, again, it doesn't mean that I don't experience contrast in my life. It doesn't mean that like sometimes shit is crazy. Like I've been crying all Taurus season. I've been crying all Taurus season, y'all, like every single day. It's really, I don't know. It doesn't mean that shit is not interesting, because it definitely is. But I'm also able to find the joy in it. I'm also able to self-regulate and self-soothe in a way that I wasn't able to do in my 20s for sure. Definitely not in my teens. But it's so empowering now. It's so empowering to know, like, if I have a disagreement with my partner, or if something doesn't like go the way I want to go in my professional life, or I feel slighted or something like that, I just have like a bad experience, I have embodied these tools and techniques, and I can just kind of realign myself. And it's so much more easier than like crying for days, arguing somebody down. Like it's such a misuse of energy when we don't know, how to navigate ourselves. Like the time that I have here on earth, I really want to enjoy it to the best of my ability. And I find that the more work that I do, the more that I, practice and I hold space, the easier life has become to navigate. And I really feel like that could also be your experience too. But I'm here to like actually give you real insights as to like how we help you get your shit together. So I have 5 ways that practitioners help you get your shit together, because we really do. The real practitioners help you too. And yes, that is a bit shady, but I said what I said. Some of us are not really about this life. For the ones that are though, this is how we help. All right, I'm gonna give you 5. There are hundreds of ways that we can help you get your shit together, first and foremost. Like, let me be very clear. I only gave 5 because, again, I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm really not trying to have an hour-long podcast. You guys know I like short and sweet. I want to be able to give you what you need so you can go on about your day, go on about your week, go on about your month, and just feel really good and be able to digest what I'm giving you, you know? Give you some time to replay the episode and all that good stuff. So only 5 ways. But there are hundreds, okay? Let's get into the first one. All right. First and foremost, and these are not like in any particular order. These are just in the way that they came to me. They ironically all start with C's, which is very, very cute. You know, I love alliteration. Repetition is key to learning. All right. So first and foremost, we collapse time frame. I've touched on this briefly, but because many of us work with energy, you know, we have the capability to help you access relief from your traumas, right? Faster than traditional paths, like I said, talk therapy, and other things like that. Ultimately, we are streamlining access to the end result you desire. Faster results. Like, if you want faster results, get a practitioner. That's really what I said. Collapsing time frames. Here's A, here's B. Normally, you have to go like this to get to the next place. We do this. Or sometimes we're able to do this. You know, when your practitioner is really, really that good, we could get here and you can really start enjoying your life, right? So that's the first thing. We collapse time frames to give you faster results. The second thing we do is help you build confidence, right? Like, we hold space for you to rediscover your power and to become familiar enough with it so that you can own your life again. A lot of times, you just don't have the confidence to do these things. You can feel it in your gut. You know your intuition is telling you to leave the situation, leave the job, leave the environment, you know, change the habit. You know that it would be beneficial to you. It's not like you don't get it intellectually or consciously. It's the subconscious that's the issue, right? Because you have made this lifestyle, this unwanted lifestyle or habit, a habit, right? You've made it a part of your everyday subconsciously. So your body will naturally go and do it, even when it knows it's not good for you. We give you the confidence to be able to be like, you know what? I'm going to shift this. Why am I still doing these things this way? I'm going to shift this shit because I want to. I want to live a better life. We help provide that. We give you a safe space, so that is something that you have access to. You get to experience the fullness of your confidence, right? There's no humility over here in these streets, especially in LobaLand. Y'all will never hear me preach humility. And I know there will be some Black people that are like, girl, that's not cute. But I said what I said. Being humble is not going to get you very far in life without you having to experience a lot of struggle. And again, if that's what you want to experience, then go and live that life. But if you know in your heart there's a easier way for you to get your results, then you're going to need confidence to do it, right? And humility doesn't provide confidence. It literally is the direct opposite. Look it up if you do not agree. Okay? Then third thing that we do is clarity. We give clarity, baby. People underestimate the importance of clarity. And it's kind of mind-blowing. Like, really think about... there's so many ways we can go about this, okay? Let's just really talk about, like, okay, how, if you don't know what you want in the end, how can you get there? Like, we guide you through your experience so that you can witness the bigger version, you know, the bigger vision of life without having to endure repeated pain and like these really hard lessons, right? Clarity helps you do that. It helps you end that struggle to success cycle because you're clear on what you do want, or you're either clear on what you do want or what you don't want. Either way, you have clarity, so you know how to navigate. If you don't have clarity, where are you going? You're literally either stagnant, you're not moving because the anxiety is stressing you out, right? Or the fear that you're going to make the wrong mistake is stressing you out, or you're over here thinking about your past and you're ruminating in it and you're thinking you'll never be able to make a proper move again. Like, there are so many intricacies that are involved in confusion. And a lot of us would prefer to be confused and to struggle through life and to hopefully one day work our way to clarity, when clarity is like really easy to access when you have a practitioner. It's really easy. We get to help you. We get to be like, actually, in our last session, I noticed this pattern, right? This is my skill set. This is my zone of genius. I noticed this pattern and let's talk about it. And then every time I say something like that, they're like, "Oh, snap, I didn't even know." Like, "Oh, wow. Wow, so you're already living this life. You're already living this truth." And then things just change. You're just able to get your end result faster, ultimately. And if you're getting to your end result faster, you have to enjoy your life more vividly, to really feel and lean into it without fear. So the fourth thing that we do is we cultivate your intuition, okay? By helping you see the subtle power in the small shifts you make, you begin to reconnect with your intuition, which we love, which we support. I support intuition-based living. You deserve to live by your own divine truth, okay? And as we validate your experiences and feelings, you become more aware of your ability to just to know what is next for you, to know what it is that you need to be so that you can experience more from life. Oh my goodness. I feel like the number one thing I hear from my clients that are absolutely incredible powerhouses in the beginning sessions, their root chakra is usually underactive first and foremost, and then their intuition. You hear them tell you all these stories about how they felt like something wasn't right, but because they could not logistically make it make sense, they ignored their intuition, went with logic, went with what society agreed made sense, and then had these really shitty experiences that they didn't need to have had they listened to their gut, had they had enough confidence, right, to trust in their intuition. And you get these experiences, you get to build up your confidence, get to cultivate your intuition by working with a practitioner, because we help to validate your experience. I get to sit there and hold space for you, and as you're sharing what you've gone through, I get to help you put the pieces together so you can connect the dots and be like, "Oh shit, I am doing this. I am living this life." And you're worthy of that. You're deserving of that. You don't need to be in a world where everybody tells you all the time that, you're wrong, or like, that's not the way to live your life. Like, how are you gonna tell somebody how to live their life? It's never made sense to me, right? Even in our sessions, I will never tell you how to live your life. I will just show you what's being presented in your patterns and your behaviors, so you can decide if that makes sense, if that feels good for you moving forward, then live your life that way. And if it doesn't, let's recalibrate. Let's realign to something that feels better for you ultimately, right? And last but not least, we create community, okay? UNITY, unity. All right, never mind. I don't know if you guys know that song. Shout out Queen Latifah. Okay. So yes, we create community. You have someone to journey through experiences in your life with, instead of navigating it on your own. Again, I told you that's one of the main reasons why I even started doing this. And you have a well-trained guide that has the tools and techniques required for you to live out your dreams right now. That's huge, right? When you work with me, when we build together, when we play, when we experience one another's energy, there's a bond there. All of my clients are family. Like, it's like when we hop on, sometimes my life feels so surreal because I'm like, wow, this is really my livelihood. Like, this is really my profession. I get to just talk to like really dope, incredible Black women and just hold space for their expansion. Like, I really get to support you. Again, healing homegirl. I might get that like on a mug or something, because I feel like one of my members in the Sweet Life was like, "You're really like my healing homegirl," and I love that. And I was like, this resonates. Like, oh, I love it. We really just hop on together, whether it's FaceTime, whether it's Google Meet, whatever the case is. And we experience life together. You have communion, right? Where two or more are present, God is here. God, source, Allah, whoever you call on to. That's how you create a mastermind. When you have your practitioner alongside you and we're honoring your genius and we're saying, hey, I am focusing on witnessing your genius, right? I'm not here to remind you of your past failures, of the things that you did wrong, of your mistakes. I'm here to really uplift and nourish and hold your genius until you're able to do the same, right? That's community. We need community. Black women need community. We need we need it. I feel like it's a campaign right now. Like, we really need safe spaces. That is why I created the memberships that I have. That's why I created this podcast. So you actually have someone who has a very similar experience where you don't have to explain the nuances of life to. I get it, right? I am you. I'm a reflection of you. I get it. I get to hold space for you. And I'm also grateful enough to have such incredible, wolves community out there that I'm able to connect you all together so that you guys can collaborate and build in your zone of geniuses as well. Like, there's so much power in community. And especially if you identify as a projector, community is how you're going to be able to live your life, right? Any of my clients, any, like, whether it be corporate, whether it be one-on-one, my members, it's all from community. It's all referrals. It's all people experiencing my energy, experiencing our exchange, really having a good time, because that's what I'm here to do, and telling someone else and be like, girl, you gotta come here, or, oh my God, come and check this out because this is so dope. I love this space. I love this community. Let's support this person. And then this is a beautiful cycle of healing energy that we are able to create for one another. And I just feel like, why would you not want that, right? And if it comes back down to, like, I just don't have the money to, things like that, we're going to talk about that in a second, because that's not a real reason. Okay? So again, 5 ways that we help you get your shit together. We collapse time frames. We help you build your confidence. We help you understand and visualize and witness your clarity. We help you cultivate intuition, and we help you create community. All right? So who needs a practitioner, right? You gave me all the tea. Love this. Who needs a practitioner? Let's take a sip before we answer that question. Yes. Short answer, everyone would deeply benefit from a practitioner in their lives. Just going to put it out there, right? Your practitioner has a practitioner. Like, I have my own personal projectors. I got my own practitioners. Like, it's a necessary cycle, right? Your therapist has a therapist. Like, it just is what it is. Especially if you are being called to enter into your soft era, okay? We can make that transition easier for you in the long run, right? So if you feel like you know you have a major purpose here on this earth, but you don't know where to begin, if you are ready to release yourself from any expectations, right, from other people and live your life in your own unique way, if you are experiencing heavy transitions, think like breakups, changes of environment, grief, illness, right? If you want to experience more fun and play in your life, if you want to better use your time and energy, if you just know you're meant for more, you need a practitioner, okay? Start looking into getting one. Start looking into connecting with one. Many of us have tiers that make us accessible for you to handle. And this is what many of us have tiers that make us accessible, right? And at different rates, at different price points, so that you can do what feels best for you. And that's what I was talking about earlier, when I get that whole, like, I just can't afford these one-on-ones with you and things like that. I would love for y'all to shift your language on that and really think about the benefits, right? And again, you kind of have a clear understanding now of just a small percentage of benefits you would receive in working with me one-on-one, working with a practitioner one-on-one. Your life will radically change. You will find so much more peace, so much more yes moments, so much more wow moments. I always love hearing my clients and my wolves, my members, just be like, yeah, shit is kind of crazy right now, but life is beautiful. And they're not saying that like spiritual bypass on some, I'm just going to lie to myself. They really can see the beauty. That's power. When there's chaos around you, you can still witness the beauty in that moment. Like, that's liberation. That is an easeful life. That is a softer way of living, right? You deserve that. You need that. And again, if you're not able to afford that price point, there are so many different ways, right? Like for me, I have 2 affordable memberships that are both under $20 a month, which, yes, is something that I feel anyone can do if you want to prioritize your well-being. Because let's understand something really, really clearly. When you are building with the practitioner that it is for you, and I want to make sure that I specify that, when you have that practitioner that is aligned with your truth, the money's going to flow in. All of my clients have made more money working with me one-on-one. Whether they've shifted positions or they started their own businesses or just became more open to the way that money works because it's energy, and just have allowed gifts and random checks to fall into their lives. Like, I have a really good track record. I have a lot of testimonies on just even using some of my products will help you to bring in the financial abundance that you desire. So I still stand by my price point. I think that $20, less than $20 a month. One of them is like literally less than $15 a month. Like, and you're getting access to me, right? You're getting master classes. You're getting intentional community and intimate time with me, right? It's a little bit more concentrated than it would be on social media, where social media is just kind of like, I'm putting things out there. Whatever sticks for you, sticks for you. When you step into a community, into a membership, right? You are in a space that I've intentionally cultivated to uplift and support you on your journey. I can only do but so much on Instagram. Instagram is Instagram. When you go to my page, it's fire. But if you're not on my page, I can't help you, right? But when you're in my communities, I'm cultivating that energy. You're going to get something absolutely incredible, right? I also have my cosmic clients who are my one-on-ones or my masterminds that'll be launching in like the 3rd and 4th quarter of this year. And they are at a higher price point, but they're still ridiculously affordable. Like, ridiculously affordable. And, you know, eventually the price will be going up because the results are pouring in. And I just see that people are, you know, doing so well. And receiving so much from this. And it's important that I make sure that it matches the value that I'm giving, right? So that I don't feel out of alignment, so that I'm also still able to take care of my livelihood and things like that. Right? And then, of course, if you're just like, look, I just don't have the money at all. I'm still in this scarcity mindset. So this all sounds really lovely, Lo, but I don't have the money. I hear you, and I've been there. Let's not get it twisted. Okay, I've been there. I'll never be there again. Shout out energy work. But I've been there, right? So I get it. That's why I also have like years and years and years of free, in-depth content across my social media, my podcast, and my website. And my podcast has 100 episodes, but I've been featured on other people's podcasts as well. Right? I've done free masterclasses. There's tons of lives that are still accessible on my Instagram for free. So if you're just like, I love your energy, but I cannot afford to work with you one-on-one, or I can't afford to join a membership, but you still want to work with a practitioner, you can start there. You can start by reading the practitioner's books, right? If they have books or workbooks, there are so many ways. I just don't want you to ever feel like there's only one way for you to work with a practitioner. If you can't work that way, then it just is what it is. That's so unfair to yourself, right? Like, even for me, I still hop on YouTube University and listen to Abraham Hicks videos like every single fucking day, right? Like, I'm always pouring back into myself in so many different ways. Things that I pay for, classes that I pay for, and then also like the free shit. Like, do what feels best for you, and just know that these opportunities and things like that, they're out there. I just don't want you saying that you don't have it to work with a practitioner, because it's not a true statement. And what I will not do is hold space for you to lie to yourself. That's just not how I rock. This is not how I roll, okay? I really want to make sure that you know, look, if you want this and you really need this, it is accessible. If you have the thought that, oh, I would love to work with this practitioner, you can start with their free stuff. All practitioners have free shit. We all do. We all do. Because many, especially Black women practitioners, because we've been there where we've wanted to work with clients, or worse, we've paid astronomical amounts of money to work with practitioners who did not have the Black lens, and we had to navigate classes ourselves, right? A lot of my certifications, like, I got certified to be certified, but a lot of it was like self-study, because I'm realizing that my experience as a Black woman is very different from like the white male teacher that's teaching me, or the white woman teacher that's telling me kumbaya, I don't see color. Like, those things are not helpful to the people that I want to serve. So ultimately I do end up teaching myself, but I still invested the money, you know, to have the experiences so that I can be better for you. So I say all that to say, there are so many ways to work with me. There's so many ways to work with incredible practitioners out there. I did want to shout some out. Shout out Miss Sky Brittany of De La Hippie. She's a sound healer and she's phenomenal. And you can work with her one-on-one. She also has amazing 30 seconds of peace on her Instagram that are like these little sound bites of sound healing. Put your headphones on, just take 30 seconds to breathe in and out and vibe with her sound healing. It's amazing. And we actually have a sound healing collaboration, a meditation and sound healing collaboration that we did in Costa Rica. It might still be available on my YouTube for free. If not, then it's definitely available in both of my memberships. You have access to all of my unlisted videos if you join the membership, which is over 50 videos. So content, okay? Sky Brittany, Priscilla of Sadie Baddie. She just produces incredible work. She has a new podcast out called The Soft Life. Please go subscribe, support. She's incredible. Love her. She's amazing. Fatima Pharma is an amazing breathwork and meditation facilitator. She's not doing one-on-ones currently, but she has tons of amazing and affordable things. There's just, I can really go on and on. Like Samantha does yoga, meditation, breathwork. Oh my goodness. You can join me for $10. I think our drop-in class is for a Manifest House, and I do my EFT classes there. I'm also teaching on Shakti Bars app once a week, every Wednesday for that midweek pick me up. I teach with Emily. We have an amazing healing session where we do tarot in the beginning and the end of the session. Oracle readings, tarot, whatever comes up. And then we have a 30-minute intentional yoga flow with deep stretching to really let the messages sink into the bodies. It's such a beautiful embodiment experience. I have that's super affordable. Again, there's so many dual practitioners. We're doing so many amazing things. Shout out my practitioners. I love you. I respect you. I see you. I honor you. I really hope that you felt seen in this episode. My clients, my wolves, the gang. I hope you guys got some really good information and you realize I need to get me a practitioner or I need to join said membership. If you're joining in real time, we're talking about the Feminine Divine Principles this month of May in the MysticCODE. We'll be going over the principles and our first class is tonight, but you'll always have access to the master classes once you join. I always have access to my classes just so that you can watch it in your own time. I'm really a laid back practitioner on top of that too. But yeah, we'll be talking about that. And then in the Sweet Life, we're talking about feminine divine energy, the 3 levels of feminine divine energy and how to practice embodying them. We just did a whole beautiful wake, bake, and tap where we use plant medicine and energy healing. And we've talked about the higher self, the inner mother and what that looks like and how we can access her. And we'll have 2 more sessions where we talk about working with our inner child and building a healthy ego. So if any of that sounds really good to you, so that you have been exploring on your own, but you really want to have that community, that clarity, that confidence, you want to collapse your time frame, you want to cultivate your intuition, then come through. Check out the links below. There's tons of resources in my show notes for you to get into. Okay. And I just want to end this episode by saying thank you. I hope you guys are here for the vibes. I hope you guys love, I'm literally in an oversized t-shirt dress. I just love this. I'm sitting on my bed. This is giving exactly what I wanted to give. And I really hope you had a good time, hanging out with me and just shooting the breeze, starting off your Monday, your month with some information to really sit with. I invite you to listen to the episode again. Listen to it again. There's going to be gems that you didn't hear the first time because you didn't have the experiences that you needed to really understand it. Come back, okay? Let's hang out again. Let's sip matcha again. And of course, if you're wondering how to choose a practitioner, right? If you're wondering what price points you should be charging as a practitioner, what price points you should be looking at as a client, more in-depth information about that, about frauds, the frauds out there. Shout out my scammer practitioners. Well, really not shout y'all out. Y'all are really problematic and you guys have been causing a lot of stress and we're going to talk about it. We're going to hold space for you, beloved. Okay. Tune into the next matcha morning. Okay. Cause that's what we'll be getting into. I'm really going to be as transparent as possible because that's the life I'm living. I'm just here to tell my truth. And if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is. But I want to make sure I give you what you need for your healing experience. Okay. And of course, I adore you. Subscribe, rate, especially on Spotify. Please Check out the podcast. It's on there. We got like cute new artwork or whatever. We're like really doing our thing. Just come support. Here's the love. I adore you. I appreciate you. And I really hope you have a really good upcoming month. And if you need more support and love, show notes have you covered. Go and check them out. Click all the links. Show all the support. It really takes nothing to click a link. Go and do it. It takes nothing to rate the podcast. Go and rate it. All right. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, for those that are watching. And I will see you soon. Bye.